Hi there, it's Saturday the 17th of January 2015. My name's Andy Rowe and this is trendfollower.co.uk, and what I'm going to do in this video is just to run through my open positions on my trend following program and have a look, see how they're doing. So we're going to do them in alphabetical order, and I'm going to start with a company called Amara Mining, which this week has done rather well actually. They're a mining company, surprisingly, and I went long Amara Mining here. You can see the arrow where I bought Amara. I placed a stop below the previous low here some time back in 2013. That was the low, and Amara Mining did very well, and then fell away and sort of bottomed out, and now it seems to be climbing again. It's popped up through the moving average for the year, the MA50, which I see as a good sign. So I'm happy that that's going in the right direction. So good news there. Now the next one is BTG, which is a pharmaceutical company. I went long here. It had done very well, and I hoped it was going to continue to do well, so I went long here, and it hasn't really done much. This last week it's gone down somewhat. The week before it gone up a bit, so no real change there. My stop is below the MA50, the moving average for the year. Sugar, again, not a trend trade. Well, sorry, BTG was a trend trade. Things were going well, but sugar. The way I have been looking at sugar is that it's come down to very much a low. You can see low points here in 08 and 2010, and it's kind of been approaching those sorts of levels. And my rationale was that it's a commodity. At the end of the day, there's always going to be a need for sugar, or demand for sugar anyway, and so it makes sense to me to buy this sort of stuff when it's cheap. We'll talk about oil another time in another video, because that's kind of interesting, very interesting at the moment. I'm just making a mess of this, but if I open this up again, so I went long sugar here, and it of course then went down somewhat, but this week just gone and the week before it's recovered very nicely actually. So I think I'm pretty much at break even now, maybe slightly in profit. And we'll see what happens. So I'm basically just going to hang on to it and see how it goes. Wheat now, same thing with wheat really. I could see that wheat has just done so badly, and it looked to me at one point that it was going to do well because it had broken up through the moving average for the year, the MA50. So I went long wheat, or even though there was lots of evidence that it was going down, and this was hopefully this was a turnaround trade. Now it's been going down since then. My stop is right down here below this low, and the question in my mind was last week, which I said on the video, and the week before even, with a trade like this, either I think I'd have to not have a stop or have a very low stop, a bit like the Amara Mining stop, in that when you're trying to come up from the depths and do a turnaround trade, I think you need quite a lot of wiggle room. So it makes sense either to have a very, very tight stop that if it comes down below the MA50 I'm out again, or I think have a stop right down here, and just decide how much I'm prepared to risk, and put the trade on and leave it to run. And that's what I've done with wheat. It's going down. Will it continue to go down? Well, don't know. So if it comes down to here, that'll be the end of the trade. And but if it turns around and goes back up again, and thinking about it, there is perhaps some evidence that it's going to do that. It had a rise up through the MA50 here earlier in sort of spring of 2014. It's done the same again here at the end of 2014. So a couple of goes at coming up through the moving average for the year, and to me that suggests perhaps that there's a sort of gradual change in sentiment, and I'm hoping to capitalise on that. But it could all go horribly wrong. We'll see. Now Grainger, this is my sort of bearish view of the property market. Grainger is a residential landlord. We've got lots of property, and essentially if the price of property is dropping, then the the value of Grainger shares will go down. So what I did was to go short Grainger here when the price fell down through the MA20, which was below the MA50. To me, that's quite a good trigger to sell. And since then, the price of the share has gone sideways. Although this last week, it did go down somewhat. So my stop is up here, and yeah, if it comes up through this, I'm out of the trade. Once the MA50 comes down below this level, then probably what I'll do is just use the MA50 as a stop and and see how it goes. So that's Grainger. So it's about break even at the moment, I think. Netherlands now. I went short the Netherlands, Holland here when the price dropped, and it's been quite volatile. And this last week it's gone up somewhat. So quite how this trade is going to pan out, I don't know. There is talk of European quantitative easing, and if that happens, that could be good for European stocks. But of course, it will be bad for this trade of mine, because I'll make money if the price goes down. If the price goes up, then I'll be out of the trade. Yeah, so there's my stops up here, and it'll stay there, I think, until the MA50 comes down significantly. Once the MA50 I think comes down to the price that I enter the trade, then I'll move the stop to break even, and then track it down with the MA50. So there we go. Man Group has been not much change this week really. At one point it was down quite a lot, and then went back up again. Overall, it's slightly down on the week, but this is an interesting candle in that there's a very long sort of spike underneath it, and actually quite often this will suggest that the downward move in prices was countered significantly by upward pressure. So this shape of candle actually, to me, suggests that the price of this share may well rise in subsequent weeks. You can see a tail, for instance, on this candle. Although this one would have suggested downward pressure, it was followed by a rise. So it's by no means something you can rely on. But like all these sort of tea leaf indicators, if it suits me to use it as evidence, I'll use it. If it is a sort of contra evidence, then I'll ignore it, of course, because it's nonsense. So what will happen to Man Group next week? Who knows? This is a break-even trade. Because it had done so well, I moved my stop up from below the MA50 up to the break-even level. So if the price falls down, then I'll be out of the trade, but I won't lose money. So that's kind of a nice, safe feeling. The only downside to doing that is that I've lost some wiggle room. But obviously, if it went up from here right up to here and then fell back down and went way down below the entry price and made a loss, I would be pretty gutted, because going from a very profitable position to a loss is psychologically very painful. Nanoco Group. This trade has closed. I went long here, and it looked like it was rising. The MA20 had crossed above the MA50, and it was coming up from the dead, it seemed. And then this last week and the week before, it fell, and sometime during this week it actually went through my stop, which was here. So you can see the long sort of the little spike at the bottom of the candle here. So it just triggered the stop loss order, and so Nanoco has closed, which is a shame. Sod's law, it'll go up again in the next few weeks. We'll see. Will I reopen a position? I don't know. I'll have to just take it on its merits. But its price has been quite volatile. So will I choose to go? Yeah, I don't know. So it has been very up and down. I mean, looking at the price, you can see how much it went up in the early stages of 2014. Sorry, 13, and then it fell dramatically, and then rose up a lot, and now it's fallen again. So it's pretty impossible to sort of tell where it's going to go really. Rightmove, I'm short Rightmove. This was a position I opened this last week, so I've gone short Rightmove. Just haven't put the arrows in here, but so it would have happened here because last week the share price fell down through the MA20, which I use as a trigger if the MA20 is below the MA50, and I can see that things are falling, and this is like a pullback trade. So fall, pull back, fall, pull back, fall. I'm hoping to capitalize on it falling. My stop is up at this level above this high, so I've got lots of wiggle room. The question would be, would I really actually leave it to rise up to that height before I closed it, or would I close it if it went up through the MA50? That's still a tough call. You can see how it went up through the MA50 here and then back down again. You know, overall it looks like it's falling, and you know, it could go a long way. Who knows? It's hard to say. So I'll probably just leave it up there for a bit. Once it's fallen down further, then I'll use the MA50 as my price to set the trailing stop by. Telecity have gone up a bit this week. I'm long Telecity, and of course they went down, but now they're coming back up. Up towards the price that I entered at, and hopefully go up a lot further. You can see how well Telecity did, and then in 13 it sort of fell back down, and then during 14 it's been rising. But you know, it's had its ups and downs. But you know, there's a low here, there's a higher low. I think, you know, a higher low here. There's a series of higher highs. It looks like it's on a rising trend, and my plan really is to just stick with it and see how it goes. So fingers crossed. TR European Growth Trust has not done quite so well this week. This is where I went short TR European, and a few weeks ago I moved the stop loss to break even, and rightly or wrongly, I mean, this is one of those things that's so difficult to decide. Should I just be using the MA50 and stick with it? Gives me a bit more wiggle room, but if things went up, of course I'd lose more. They are talking about quantitative easing on the continent, so you know, that will be good for European stocks, and of course if European stocks do well, the TR European Growth Trust will do well. So how's it going to go? I have no idea. So of course not. So obviously I like to trade trends, and if it goes down, I'll follow it. If it goes up, I'll be stopped out. That's just the deal. Victoria Oil and Gas has not done so well this week. It's been a very volatile move on their share price, you know, up and down, and you know, you can see where I went long VOG, and it's been all over the place. So at the moment it's down a little bit, but it is above the MA50. My stop is down here. I'm just going to sit around and see what happens. You know, if the oil price goes up, then this should be good for business. Wincanton have gone up a bit this week, which is great. You can see where I went long Wincanton, and the price is still rising, and I'm just tracking the Wincanton share price up with my stop just below the MA50, and you know, if you look at the price here, you can see at one stage it was up above £4. At the moment it's sort of £1.64. You know, plenty of room for growth in sort of in historical terms, but you know, like all these things, you know, it can fall again. So yeah, it's not long till I get to a break-even position with this, which is great. So after that, you know, it's all just icing on the cake. So we'll see how Wincanton does. So I just thought I'd show you another little interesting trade. Again, this certainly is not a trend trade, and you know, I don't mean to suggest it is anything like a trend trade. It's a counter trend trade. Do you remember earlier in this video I talked about, or was it in the previous video, talking about the key indices? Now the price of gold seems to be rising, and interestingly, that's why I guess things like my Amara mining trade is doing quite nicely. So so that's great. But I was thinking, well, you know, is there a way of you know, compounding this improvement? And there's an American ETF which tracks the price of gold miners, and generally speaking, gold miners will do better than gold if the price of gold is going up, and if the price of gold is going down, gold miners will do worse than the price of gold. Generally speaking, that seems to be the case. Now there's an ETF that compounds this or increases it by a factor of 3. So the direction daily gold miners bull 3 times shares ETF basically goes up 3 times the amount that gold miners go up. So earlier this week I bought some of it, and you can see here how it's done. The past 3 weeks it's done really well. So it's gone up from a price of about $11, $12 up to $18. I just thought that you'd be interested in that. Say it's an American ETF, NUGT, cool name, and yeah, if the price of gold goes up, then this goes up 3 times that. But of course, if the price of gold goes down, it goes down 3 times that. So it's one of those things that it just accelerates both your wins and your losses. And what I've done is to just buy a little bit and see what happens. And if it keeps going up, then I might buy a little bit more. So again, this is just what I'm doing. Please don't take this as advice about what you should do. In fact, don't take any of what I say as financial advice, please. It's just really put up here as interest for you. So, but it's all about what I'm doing. So I've done that, and I'm kind of intrigued by how it'll do. So watch this space. Okay, so there you go, a little bonus thing there. So those are how my positions are doing. The mining stuff looks like it's turning around. Fingers crossed. Going to go well. Stuff that's linked up to the price of oil still a bit shaky. But in fact, I'll probably do a little thing about how I'm trading oil at the moment, because it's been a learning experience, that's for sure. But I'm still quite excited by the future of dealing in oil. So there we go. Those are my open positions on Saturday the 17th of January 2015, and I look forward to catching up with you next week, and we'll see how things are going. So have a good week, and see you then. Yeah, bye for now.